saying, I'm just sitting here make sure I got what I need and do what I can do to
Of
assist
course.
us on this journey. So I'm just going to drop them. If you need them, there they are. If you don't, it's okay.
That's awesome. Oh, that's really sweet of you. Yes, hello. Welcome to Fireside Chat. I'm Sue, and I'm so glad you're here this evening. I have the great honor to welcome my sweet dear friend, Dr. Patricia Rogers, to the show. What a pleasure to see you and to spend time with you, Doctor. How wonderful. So
Awesome.
happy.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you
I'm
so much for having me, Sue.
so thrilled. I really am. Dr. Patricia Rogers is retired after 29 years in law enforcement and a 12-year armed forces veteran. And let me just move this out of the way here so I can read. A graduate of St. Thomas University and a lifetime National Society of Leadership and Success member. Her most recent achievement is the Honorary Doctor of Humanity Award from Theophany University in Haiti for life experiences that she has had up until this point, and she is still creating. Since retiring, she has positioned herself as a 2 times winning international public speaker, 2 times international best-selling author, social media marketer, affordable legal service provider, and visibility strategist. Also business coach. So Dr. Rogers' Zone of Genius is providing virtual platforms for entrepreneurs to speak, promote products and services, increase leads, and get new clients. So nice to have you with us, and I'm just so happy to just tell us about what you do and how you found this amazing pathway.
How did I find the amazing pathway?
Pathway. I think you created it, truthfully.
Yes.
You created this pathway, right?
Well, absolutely. The wise women don't wait on opportunities. We do create them. So,
We
yeah, I
do.
can certainly agree to that. And I am Dr. Patricia Rogers. Thank you so much for having me, Sue. I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers. I am a visibility strategist, and I am the CEO of Unity and Service, where people need people. And
Beautiful.
what I have done in my lifetime, as you was reading the bio, I did do 12 years in the military and in my younger days. And of course, from that, I did 29 years in the corporate arena. I worked as a correction officer and I excelled in my career. And I retired after 29 years as a corrections lieutenant. Had many challenges in that job, a lot of political games that administration plays. I'm sure we all know about the politics in the workplace. Well, I
Absolutely.
was a victim of the politics in the workplace, and I was passed over for 3 promotions,
Oh
three
my
different
God.
times as I elevated and excelled in my career. And because of the rules and the regulations, the policies and procedures, when you're studying for an exam, you get to read all the policies and procedures, so you get to know what your rights are. And
Wow.
each time that I was passed over, I exercised my rights as an employee. I stood up to the system. And I think the first time ended up on national television to plead my case before the count 12 members of the board of county commissioners. And of course, I succeeded in that, and they gave me my promotion. And
Oh
I
my
guess
goodness.
after you after you make complaints on administration, you become a target. So when I took the test again in 2 more years, 3 more years, whatever it was, they passed over me again. Just because they can do it. But you know what happens there? That's when resilience kicks in, and when a determination to receive what it is that your goal is to receive kicks in. And
That's
of
true.
course, they did what they did, and I did what I did again. And again, I succeeded in that.
Oh my
And of course,
goodness.
one last round for lieutenant, 3 or 4 years before retirement. That was my goal, was to
Wow.
retire as a corrections lieutenant because of the benefits and all of that. And of course, I took the test, came out in the top 5 percentile out of 68 people. And of course, they did it again. And you know what? I did my role again, too. And of course, I succeeded. So I retired in 2016, corrections lieutenant. I make a six-figure salary, and that's what I was fighting for in my retirement. My
Yes.
retirement pension is a six-figure salary
Awesome.
plus a 3% increase. And that is what I was fighting for. And alongside of that, I had 2 children to raise.
Oh my
So, with
goodness.
that, ladies and gentlemen, Napoleon Hill says it best in his book, Think and Grow Rich, that your desire must be so strong that nothing will stop you from achieving your goal. And when your mind is made up to do what you need to do, all we have to do is take the leap. And from there, I started hosting events in my backyard because of the legal services that I provide with Legal Shield. And I would have lots of entrepreneurs in my backyard. And I paid for the food, the chairs, the tents. I paid for the DJ, and everything. And all of that was free. So I joined Women's Prosperity Network in 2015, a year before retirement, because preparation is the key to our success. We
Yes.
know we prepare for the journey. And when I joined Women Prosperity Network, and along with Bill Walsh, took one of his public speaking trainings, Women's Prosperity Network public speaking trainings. And both those coaches were in different states and locations in the states. And it's amazing because both those coaches said to me, "You're already hosting events in your backyard for free. All you have to do is monetize." And
Wow.
that is when my journey began as a visibility strategist and a event host and organizer. So I started going into hotels. And that's where I did 6 years in hotels once a year annually. And people flew from all over because I'm a social media butterfly. I
Yes.
believe in going where the people are. The people are on social media. We're talking 4.5 billion people on
Wow.
social media or more. And we're talking about 15 to 16 various platforms for us to show up, get up, suit up, and show up. And I pick out the ones that work for me. I keep my head in the crowd, and I have been very successful at hosting in-person events for 6 years. And the pandemic came, and what happened, I did what everybody else had to do. I
Yes.
shifted on a dime. And I
Yes.
shifted. My first event was May the 14th. And I had about 100 ticket sales for that event. And of course, because the speakers pay for their invest in their speaking opportunities, we sell tickets for all of our events. And this is how my business as an entrepreneur, hosting virtual events and in-person events, this is how I make my money. I use my intellectual properties, make sure I give the speakers value and the attendees lots of value so that they will walk away with a lot more than they came with. And that's how I started my journey. We've done about 60, 70 events online since the pandemic. I've trained individuals how to host virtual events so that they can make money. Because
Wow.
again, events are a business. That's my passion. I have a podcast, The Spotlight's on You.
Awesome.
And I also have video channels and all of those things. I promote people across social media when they're in our events. My team does. And all I'm saying is that everything that has to do with visibility, that's who I represent.
So true.
I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers, visibility strategist. And I'm gonna say this to you: if you're not there, nobody sees you.
Oh
So
gosh.
people on social media, if
So
you're
true.
not using social media, then you're
They
leaving
can't.
money.
Right? Yeah. I think it was. I'm trying to think who it was that said it isn't who you know, it's who knows you.
That's right.
And that's so true because it's true. You can know a whole bunch of people, but if nobody knows you, then they can't refer to you. They can't, have a collaboration with your brand, like, right? So I think
That's
that's
right.
so true. It's so true today. And don't you find like young people, like, Gen Z and millennials, they have to get out of their comfort zone and actually talk to people and get out and network. It's easier for us, but I think for them, like, it's just like it's challenging. But I bet there's young speakers who you're working with that you're seeing that they're coming out of their shell a little bit. Are you seeing that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm glad you asked that question because one thing I do take pride in, and that is I assist a lot of the young people who are in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
I know I want to pour into them. And I have a group that I'm training now, one of my team, we're training them now to become virtual assistants. Why? Because they need our assistance over here in the US. The money that we make here, we have here, it equates to probably triple what they get over there. A
Wow.
dollar, is a lot of money to them. So I pour into them at no cost to them. However, they do work for me. So I guess you could sort of call it an exchange,
That's lovely.
sort of like being a sponsoring them, but virtually.
So, and there are people that spoke English already, so you didn't have to worry about a language barrier.
They're English speaking people and that I work with. Sometimes their accents are a little heavy, but I have one of the young ladies that is my administrative assistant. She basically engages more so with them as it relates
Lovely.
to the training and whatnot because of their culture, the culture, you know, uh, similarities. and
Right.
it works out real well. And she speaks very good English, so me and her, yeah, but it works
You're
out very
totally
well.
fine. That's amazing. It's such a nice thing to see a need and to actually fill that need. And isn't it amazing, like the feeling that you get at the end of the day, knowing that you're giving people like a way of like living, a way of contributing, a way of discovering what they actually have inside them. Because without your caring, like they may not have found any way forward. They may not have discovered anything about themselves that perhaps you might be the first one in their lives to say, you're a leader.
Yeah, well, Sue, it's a very rewarding position to be in, especially after I was a leader and supervisor. I've supervised many, many employees. Even in my career, I assisted an entrepreneur. I'm sorry, I assisted attending entrepreneurs in my head. I assisted the employees.
Yes.
Every 2 years when the exam came along, I went out there. Even when I was fighting for my own promotion, I still train those employees how to take those exams. I created the content for them to study to take those exams
Wow.
because it's just one thing about me. My Bible tells me, I don't know, but my Bible tells me that we must edify one another. And so that's something I take pride in. And I
Yes.
believe in leaving a legacy, and if I can touch one person during my lifetime, then my living is not in vain.
I'm sure that you're so loved by the ones that you lead because you have a lovely personality as well. You just have such a sweet demeanor. Like I met you and I was like, oh my gosh, I'd like love to have you on my show. How do I convince her? And but you're
Oh,
such a
wow.
you're just a beautiful soul. I'm so glad to know you. You're lovely.
Thank you. Yes, it was nice meeting you too. And that's what networking does.
Yes.
Again, when we talk about visibility, if you weren't there, I wouldn't have seen you. If I wasn't there, you wouldn't have seen me.
Mm,
And this
true.
is why I always say we have to get up, suit up, and show up, even when we don't feel like going. We have to say to ourselves, our goals don't care nothing about whether I got a headache or not. My goals don't care whether my hip is hurting or not. All my goals want me to do is get up, suit up, show up because I got something waiting on you. How about
Yes,
that?
so true. I know. So, Alignable is an interesting platform that I just discovered them maybe about a month ago, and that's where I found you. Is that you can even network on a Saturday or a Sunday. It doesn't matter. There's so many events like virtual that you could literally go to networking every day if you wanted to, right? And that's so
Absolutely.
powerful. So,
Every
how do you
day,
find?
every hour.
Yes, it's extraordinary, but it's true. Alignable, and you just join. It doesn't cost really anything. If you want to start adding more connections, then you can pay a little bit. But my goodness, the value that you get, like even with a free membership, is just extraordinary. And I'm so grateful, like to just somebody invited me. I didn't know what it was, but I find it's incredible for just meeting people in your community, meeting people. There's because some of the meetings are in person, and but it's really wonderful that no matter what your day is, you could check Alignable, see if there's a meeting that day, and you can just join. And it's really an amazing platform. But
Yes,
yeah, it's incredible. So how long have you belonged to Alignable? Did you find it a couple of months ago, or has it been like a
I've been
year
on
or
a
two?
lot of, but now it's been a little. Oh, I'm coming up on a year, I would say. But
Excellent.
my favorite platforms that I'm most visible on is LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Alignable. But yeah, because like I said, I just been on Alignable a little bit less than a year, maybe close to a year now. But I've made some great connections. I mean, every time I'm on there, I make a good connection. So those people come to my events, which we have an event coming up on December the 6th.
December the
And when I
6th.
make my announcements, of course, you always want to track the people who are moving in the same direction. You always want to track those
Definitely.
people. You know that, and that's how we connected.
Yes.
Because I say what I do, they say what they do, and if we can see where we can bring it all together, then that's what happens. So when
Right.
I network with intention. I network to network. I network to build my network. I network to acquire doors of
Mm,
opportunity. And
right.
when you go with intention, your mind has to follow.
That's amazing. Yeah, and you have to just kind of surrender to what gets placed in your path because you may not even think about a certain industry or somebody who might know someone that you need. Like, if you just go with an open, willing heart, it's amazing the result you can get because you don't even know your result when you're just putting yourself. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna go to this little meeting, but you never know what's going to be on the other end of it, right? No idea.
Right,
Like,
right,
could be amazing.
right.
And
When I
yeah,
network, I always work with my links ready to drop. That's something that's a nugget for our listeners. I don't go to an event without being prepared. Being prepared for a networking event to me is just I don't go to a event without a virtual background because the virtual background talks for me. It tells
yes,
people what my website is. It tells them my phone number. It tells them it's even a free gift up there. But my point is this: I believe as a visibility strategist that people, when you have a virtual background, it shows your professionalism. It raises your level of authority, and of
yes.
course it educates the viewers because everybody's platform I may not be able to talk on, so
Hmm.
my virtual background talks for me, and I
It's
strongly
perfect.
recommend my speakers who speak on our platforms, they must have a virtual background, but we create it for them because it takes away the distractions.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I love this color too. That color is really lovely too. It's like a violet, like kind of like indigo, and then it kind of like it sort of has a bit of like almost becomes a bit purple. Like it's just a lovely color. It's very magical looking. And
Those are my brand colors: red, purple, and white. Red, purple,
that's
and white.
it's
Red is always my signature color. You see me in red all the time when I'm
yes,
speaking.
yeah. You look
Yeah,
amazing in red. I know. Like
yeah,
it's funny. I feel like red is a power color.
it
Like
is.
when
It
you
is.
wear red, doesn't it lend you power? It's sort of like you can feel like you
Well,
step into
actually,
this
yeah,
garment.
absolutely. It stands for power, confidence, and all of those good, strong words that leadership, that carries. Yeah.
Absolutely. So this year, going into 2025, I know that you also have an event in January. So the events are very reasonably priced, and I noticed that the December 6th event is from 1 till 5 Eastern, so it's in the afternoon. It isn't like a nighttime thing. You can actually attend during the day. And then how many speakers do you have lined up for that event?
How many speakers do I have lined
You
up
have a
for that
lot.
event?
You have a lot.
I have
Yeah.
approximately 23 of us.
Wow.
There's 23 of us. Two of these individuals behind me are our virtual assistants, but they too are trained to give
Wow.
an introduction. So I would certainly say 23 in total. And a
That's
lot of our
amazing.
events are just that way. And you said something very powerful earlier. When you show up, when you're on social media, when you open up relationships with people, via social media or in person, they'll find you when they're ready. When they know what you do. So that's very key. We must be able to tell people what we do because if we don't tell them, they won't know, and then they'll go somewhere else. But
Right.
all of our events for the last 4 years has been like this. And next year we'll be doing a little bit more of training, workshop training, because we want to delve a little deeper into some of the topics, such as Alignable, such as Eventbrite, such
Right.
as hosting and how to host virtual events, or in-person events. So we're going to be how to write a book. We have speakers already lined up for January the
Wow.
14th.
Because I guess they'd have to be like, are some of them shy and then they find you and then they have to dig deep to have confidence? Because not everyone's born with the confidence, right? So do some people
Yes.
find you and then they're like, okay, I need to be more social, help me? And
Well, when you work with me, when you all attend our events, people always get a lot of knowledge from me, basically on some of the things they don't know that I do, because everybody does different things in their business.
right,
So we all have value to give, knowledge, value. So when they come into the event, they're going to get things, knowledge from me about certain things
right,
that assist us, unity and service, in being the professional image that we want to portray. They're going to learn from me what
right,
we do, which is going to enhance them in their entrepreneurial journey. So basically, some of the things that I teach or show them so that they can show up for us and the audience professionally is things that I charge people for in our coaching. So
Okay.
basically, what I'm saying is they get it for free. And that's a nugget. That's a huge nugget.
That's incredible because they can take that to whatever level in whatever country in whatever capacity, right? Like you're like setting them free and because of everyone adapting after the pandemic, a lot of companies had to pivot to, okay, our business has to be deliverable virtually, and you were ready, man, you were ready. So you were like, we're gonna do this, right, doctor? You were like, let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Because you
Yeah.
have a great attitude, and but it's just amazing because isn't it incredible that just because people aren't in your town, that they can benefit from your wisdom and your light, and they can attend, wherever they are, and
Right.
just
That's a
put that.
beautiful thing.
It's incredible. We're so lucky. I think we're so incredibly lucky to have these opportunities, right? And also for someone like you who creates opportunities, who sees the need and then says, how can I fill them? How can I inspire these people? Because I want them to feel this power that they actually have access to, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We all have it. And that's what my goal is always. My mission is always to inspire entrepreneurs. And you're right. Sometimes people are shy. And of course, that's one of the gifts that I have when they do that 30-minute session with me. That's when I kind of talk them over the edge. And like I say, we have three different speaking opportunities. We have a 5 to 7 minute speaking opportunity. We have 15 minutes and we have the 30 minutes. So normally when I connect with people who are a little bit not sure want to, I kind of talk them into getting that 5 to 7 minute speaking opportunity. And because I have a public speaking academy, what I do is I spend special time with them and I help them craft their message. So that when they speak on the platform, they are ready and their confidence soars. So that's how I assist them in increasing their confidence. Like I said, they get it, they get the coaching free
Right.
when they agree to or commit to being one of our events, and I think that that's fair. One hand has to
Wow.
wash the other one.
That is nice. It's amazing because then do you ever find that when people are done their part and then they look at you after they're finished their speaking and they're like, oh my gosh, that was actually fun? Do they ever
Right, I get it.
react in surprise that they actually did it and then that they actually enjoyed it? Because, people who are, shy all their lives, they don't expect to like it. You think, oh gosh, this terrifying thing. But it's really fun. Once you've done something that you've been afraid of all your life, it's incredibly liberating, but it's also empowering, isn't it?
That's right. Yes, I have speakers that have followed me on every event. I tell them we have an event and they make the investment because they know they're going to walk away with value. And do have a few speakers that I remember when they first started. They remember when they first started.
They
And you're
remember,
right. They
yeah.
come back and say, oh my God, it wasn't that bad. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Even in my speaking academy, my clients, when they come to me and they don't know what the speech is, and then when they tell me their story, and I'm able to take that story and craft it in a manner, add the non-body language, and I have to add the emphasis where it needs to be
Wow.
added, and then it's just amazing to see how their confidence soars when it all comes together.
Wow. So is Unity in Service where the academy resides, or can you tell me about the structure of your work? Is it a place like where you have resources? Like, do you want to tell me a little bit about Unity in Service?
Unity and Service is the name of my company, and Unity and Service, again, we have quite a few things up under that umbrella, which you read in the bio. I do
Mm-hmm.
promote legal services, and all of that's under Unity and Service. I promote legal services because I'm an associate of Legal Shield. That's under my umbrella. I also do podcasts. That's my platform that I set up.
Right.
It's called The Spotlights on
Spotlight
You
on you. I like
because we
that.
interview people just like you're doing me here because it's all about giving people exposure.
Right.
And then of course, yes, and then of course the speaking opportunities, that's just that's a no-brainer.
Right.
When we invest in our speaking opportunities, and I do that quite often, I've gone to London, Spain, different places. And when we make speak, that is an investment into my business. And that also gives me visibility worldwide. So I do take on speaking opportunities in other countries, other states, based on some of the conferences that people have.
And that's
because
and like
definitely
you have international recognition for your work, and that's why you
I
have
am an international.
international awards, isn't
I'm an
it?
international best-selling author. I'm an international speaker because anytime you go international, I've spoken on cruises, I've spoken on international waters, I've spoken in other countries, and I'm going to say this: anybody that speaks on our platform who thinks they are not international speakers, they will be when they speak on our platforms.
Wow.
Why? Because we have international members, speakers, as well as attendees. So,
Wow.
because we're living in a virtual world, that means that when you speak on a platform and you have people from around the other countries on that
I see.
platform, you are now an international public speaker. Let me
Okay.
make that clear.
Absolutely. So I signed up for the December event, and so when I attend, I'll be able to hear the people like tell their stories and do their speeches and things like that. And we can support each other. And then they would have, of course, they would have a really nice backdrop as well with their information, so people can follow them and all that, right? And then,
That's good.
right.
That they're going. We all of our attendees will receive emails in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
But this is because this is a holiday special. I am going to have my team already knows that they're going to download that entire email list of people who attend, and instead of it just going to the speakers, everyone that attends the December event will get that list of over 50 attendees or however many people attend.
Right. Right.
And that way, everybody can increase their email list because if we don't have an email list, who in the world are you going to send your content to? If you don't follow up with people when you have an email list, how can you grow a network or a relationship? So we make sure we give you everything that we need to run our business. And this is what we're doing in this event. Not just the speakers will get a copy of that email list, the attendees will get one as well because we want them to follow up also. And that's something I know I pride Unity and Service in. I've gone to many, many, many events online as well as in person. Nobody has ever given me their email list
No, that's incredible.
because
But I
they
think
don't do that.
no, I just think that you're such a generous person. Like that it just makes me think like, my God, like look how much you give. And it's so noble of you, but it's also so humble of you because you don't have to. And it's great that you support your speakers, but it's amazing that people who come and attend can also like get this unheard of benefit. And then I think
Yeah,
you would keep me on your list. So if I attend the December event, then would I automatically be notified about the January event? Would I be
absolutely. Absolutely. Once we get emails, it's just like an autoresponder. We have a CRM system, a
yeah.
CRM system that we use send out information. But one thing about Eventbrite, I use Eventbrite for my events. And one thing about Eventbrite, the minute I create a new event, if you're on my list from the previous event, Eventbrite is the one that keeps all those emails in check intact as well. But so what Event does, as soon as we create another event, it's going to send all of those people who's ever come to any of the events that we hosted by via Eventbrite, if they have registered, whether it's free or for a fee ticket, because we have given complimentary tickets to
That's
now through
amazing.
the year. So
Sure.
if once we create it and we publish it, it goes live. Eventbrite notifies everybody. Unity and Service has just created another event.
My
So
goodness.
yeah, so we just love it. We love it. We love working. We love serving people. And again, like I said, and that's another way people know that we have opportunities because we send out emails and let them know. Sometimes we say we have an upcoming event and we have speaking opportunities.
Hmm.
So because we want to capture those people who are interested in what we have to offer, and so we got to
Absolutely.
let them know when it's available.
That's incredible. So yeah, it sounds like Eventbrite is a really great platform because they're helping you to get the word out, right? And so,
Oh,
and people,
absolutely.
like anybody who comes to one of your events, they'd be like, "Well, let me know when the next one is." So it's great. They automatically would be in that kind of
Right.
ecosystem, which is great. But I'm so glad that you
That's
could take
right.
time to talk with me today. I'm really, really happy. If you'd like to come back, I'd love to have you.
You're on
And
point. You're on point with
please,
everything. Yeah,
thank,
yeah, you got it. You got it. Yeah.
because you're such a lovely soul. I hope it's okay to say that, doctor. You're just so lovely.
No, I'm
Yeah.
enjoying. I love this. I love this because, like I said, visibility is important, and meeting people like you that have the platforms to assist. I mean, that's a bonus. So I just tell God thank you because again, I
Thank you.
always say people need people. And had
Yeah,
I not come
so
to
true.
Richard's event to support Richard, your Richard has supported me, I would have missed meeting you,
Yeah,
so I'm
incredible.
just excited myself.
I know, like, you know what, too, Doctor? I don't know whether you have like a webinar or something like that, but like if you ever wanted to like shoot a webinar, since you can already do podcast, then you could actually have people like in the background come and join, and go through the academy and do things like that. But it's amazing. Like then you could announce that on Eventbrite, right? So it could be a one-time event, or it could be something like, okay, we're going to launch our webinar or whatever, right? So it's amazing. Like
Right.
whatever you do in the future, you can, in a sense, launch it, right? And if you
That's
ever
right.
want me to do a launch for you, then just let me know because we're friends now, and and I'm like so happy, because I always want to bless everything you're doing. Too, you're an extraordinary soul.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm hoping that you are going to be one of our speakers. We're going to have a few speakers that in January.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're not going to have 20 something this time, but I'm hoping to get you on our platform in January. And maybe you
Oh
could
my,
share about this platform. You could share this, like I said, let people know how this platform has benefited you. Whatever you want to share about is fine, but I'm just saying
absolutely.
we all
Yeah.
have something to share.
Yeah, we
And
do.
you know,
And like if I like to work with seniors and things like that, then I could talk about that too. Like,
you could talk about whatever you want to
whatever.
talk about.
Okay, that's
One thing,
amazing.
Unity, one thing we don't do is we don't pick people's topics. A lot of times
Yeah.
people say, well, what should I talk about? Whatever God has given to you, then that's what you share about.
I like that.
All we need is the topic of whatever it's going to be. And then from there, before you speak, we call it name. We give your name and your topic,
Right.
and we
Right.
welcome you to the platform. And you have to, if that's your time to set the platform on fire. Whoop, whoop, there
Wow.
it is.
Well, you with your red power, it's awesome. You're like incredible. You're so powerful. But I just love your demeanor. I love your spirit, your soul. You're just so
Oh, thank
darling. I'm
you.
so happy to meet you. Thank you. God bless you. So please come back whenever you'd like. It's an open invitation.
I've
So
enjoyed myself.
I
Yes,
really hope you have. Has it been fun?
I do. I do. Yes, I would like to come back. If you have
I
an
would
opening
love
on
that.
next Friday, I'll be glad to do a presentation on
Thank you.
uh, my topic, visibility in a virtual world. I can do a full presentation whenever you like.
Absolutely. That
I
sounds
would
great.
love that.
Yeah, and I can find out if we can start a little bit earlier so I can kind of like, honor your time. But thank you for being patient with us. We just wanted to test to make sure everything was working. But we're also streaming to YouTube right now, and we can do that next week as well. So thank you so much for honoring me with your presence and your wisdom. I'm so happy to know you. And I think if people want to find you, then there's, her socials are right there. But also, if you would like to send an email, unityandservice@gmail.com. Is that right? Or info at
They have
Patricia
an email
Rogers.
right here. I have an
Yeah,
email on my virtual background. I have
very
two
good.
emails. They can use the email here. There's my
Very good.
website, patriciarogers.com. And if they go to patriciarogers360.com, you'll get a complimentary copy of my chapter one of my recent book from 2023. I wrote my book on in-person and virtual events that rock. 21st century tips, strategies, and processes.
Oh my goodness,
And
that's
then, of course,
perfect.
there's my phone number. So, yes,
That's
everything
amazing.
is right there. All they have to do is, and then at the bottom, if they want to come to the future event for December the 6th, at the bottom of this video, it says RSVP Hot Topic Speakers 2024.eventbrite.com. Get your ticket there, and we would love, love, love to connect with you. And definitely, definitely, so that you can tap into our network, so that you can grow your network as well.
That's amazing. So the next one, can we just say the date in January for the January one?
January's date is going to be January the 24th. And for those who come to this event for December the 6th, all attendees receive a complimentary ticket to January 24th event. And we have
So
people who
generous.
follow us every event. Doesn't matter how long you stay at the event. What matters is that you should come and show up. If your name is checked off by our team, that you was on that platform anytime during the course of that day, then of course you will get a complimentary ticket for the upcoming January 24th event. Those tickets
Very
will be $24, and we're going to be giving it to those people who attend December 6th event for free, prior to
incredible.
us promoting on social media. And you can
That's
find me
amazing.
on LinkedIn. You can find me on TikTok. Find me on Instagram. And or you can find me on Google. Google me. Google will tell you all the places you can find Dr. Patricia Rogers.
That's amazing.
Unity and service. Yes. How
I'm
they
so
say Google
happy.
know everything. Google knows it all. And I'm gonna say this, you can also, yeah. And you can find some of my writings if you use Chat GPT. Some of the quotes that I use quite often. If you put in Dr. Rogers, Patricia Rogers quotes, you'll see some of the quotes that I have come up with that will assist us on our success journey.
That's so beautiful. I know. It's funny. I have a favorite little quote. I think it was is it Einstein? Someone he said. Oh no, it was Picasso, and it's learn all the rules like a pro, so you can break them like an artist.
Oh, okay. Okay,
I'm
okay,
like,
okay.
she's gonna get that because you're an artist, and you're a rule follower because you're corrections for heaven's sakes. But you can understand that an artist might need to go within the limits of the
Yeah,
rules, but like carve their own way, right? Sort of thing.
gotta be
And
creative.
yeah, absolutely. That whole creative spirit, it's a good thing. So, but yeah, we'll talk to you soon, Dr. Rogers. Thank you so much. And God bless you. And
Okay, well, I want to say in my closing, can I leave a quote
of course, we'd love that.
to all of our listeners and viewers who might see this? I would just like to close with the quote. And the quote that I would like to leave with everyone today is procrastination is the enemy to your success. I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers, visibility strategist, and I am the CEO of Unity in Service, where people need people. Thank you for
Oh,
having me.
thank you. See you next time. All right. Thank you. Take care, Dr. Rogers. Thank you.